Hi, my name is Nikolai Yusupov. In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect the LTV circuit to the INOmax and how to do this efficiently, right? So first thing, I'm opening a brand new circuit for the LTV-1200. And the reason why I'm using the LTV-1200 is that you need two separate limbs, an inspiratory limb and the expiratory limb. How do you know which one is which? The longest one is the inspiratory limb, and we're connecting everything on the inspiratory limb. Nothing is going to be connected to the expiratory limb. Right, so I got the circuit. The next thing on your INOmax, you're going to find an injector module. This will come with the actual unit itself. This is how it looks. This part, you need your filter. The filter is going to go directly on the LTV-1200, and this is how we're going to essentially assemble the circuit. This part is going to be, pretend this is LTV-1200, right? This is how it's going to come on the side, right? This portion is the injector module. It's delivering 800 parts per million of nitric oxide. It cannot, I repeat, cannot be connected close up to the Y because you're gonna deliver all the nitric oxide, and the manufacturer recommends 18 to 24 inches of tubing before it can hit the patient, right? So what we're going to do is we found our circuit, we found the inspiratory limb, and we're going to connect this to the injector module, right? So the injector module is connected to the ventilator. Now, you have the following hoses, and you have a sense port, right? So this is how it's knowing that it's delivering the drug. It's delivering the drug via these connections. So this connection, right, is going to go on the INOmax directly. This connection, be careful, it's like our IV pump. You have a red dot, align it to the top so that you don't, bend anything, right? That's how it connects. So now we're connected. Right, now this is very important. This is how the machine is sensing how much nitric oxide the patient is receiving. This port is the Nethian tubing, right? And this is the sense line. This will be connected to the top of the INOmax right here, right? And so what you do is we're gonna have a special bag where we have these adapters that will come, and all of these adapters are gonna be essentially be connecting to the inspiratory limb, the long limb. All you have to do is break it apart here, right? And then your insertion points is like so. Insertion point, and then your insertion point. And this is the sense line that's sensing how much nitric oxide the patient is receiving. Here you need about 6 to 12 inches to the patient, but this is the important part. From here all the way to the injector modules where you need 18 to 24. So now our circuit is complete. Any end-tidal CO2 or anything else, you're going to put at the Y connected to the patient's endotracheal tube, right? So everything like that is going to go here. Now, how we would secure this? I personally, on our stretcher, I would, in the back there's poles, right, clamp poles. I will basically secure this at the bottom, and this is going to go at the top, right? I secure it to the clamp poles, and then you have all your readouts. Now, a couple of safety features that you want to be cognizant about. So first of all, I know it's rated about for 6 hours of battery life, but always I like to plug everything in when I get into my ambulance. So this goes into the power outlet. In case this device fails, right? And it could fail is, let's say your touchscreen is no longer functional or your wheel is no longer operable, you have a bypass feature. All I do is I turn this dial to the right. It will pull about 250 mLs per minute, and there's a chart that you could see. Right, so if you come here and zoom in on this chart, you will be able to see it's minute ventilation dependent. So at 5 liters per minute, I'm delivering 40 of nitric oxide. At 7.5 is 27. At 10, it's 20. 15 is 13. 20 is 10. So as you see, the minute ventilation, the less nitric oxide I'm flowing to the patient. So this will be the readout on your ventilator. That's essentially minute ventilation. So this is the first safety feature. The second safety feature is this device, which again is very important. Your BVM does not get connected to the oxygen. Your BVM is always going to be connected to this device. Why? Because if we abruptly interrupt delivery of nitric oxide, you're going to have severe pulmonary vasoconstriction for the patient. So this drug cannot be just discontinued abruptly. So in case this fails, right, and let's say this is not functional and you have to bag the patient, right, what you do is you have to connect this to high pressure oxygen source. So here we are connected on this end, right? We're going to connect it to a regulator. This is where it connects in the back. The nitric oxide amount is directly ordered by the physician. So whatever the number of nitric oxide is listed here, that's what you're going to put this dial to. So you will adjust it at whatever amount necessary. If it's set at 20, you put it at 20. And then this device is what allows oxygen to flow. So I'm going to turn this on, and you hear it's flowing, right? So here they said it's basically 5 to 14. So let's say we set it at 10 of the flow. BVM is connected like so, and then if I had to bag the patient, right, I'll disconnect this, connect it to the endotracheal tube, and deliver, right? The first 3 breaths you want to kind of get rid of because it's delivering nitric. You don't want to give too much. So 3 breaths, kind of quickly do that, then connect it to the patient, and then you can ventilate the patient with a nitric oxide delivery, right? Once you finish with that, you want to turn them back on, right? You will just turn this dial back to nothing. So essentially, right, either you have to be cognizant to connect this to the high pressure, right? Because we're also utilizing this for the LTV-1200 oxygen delivery. So be cognizant of the amount of the PSI, or you can grab 2 tanks with 2 regulators in order to do it if necessary. So again, this will be on our pole, right? The 2 tanks are going to be in the rear, and the BVM is always connected like so. That's it. All right, for the nitric oxide, connects directly to the LTV inspiratory limb, tracing it all the way up. So inspiratory limb tracing all the way up, and then the next connection goes here. The Y port gets split, so everything goes on the inspiratory limb. Expiratory limb is here. Nothing is connected here. So for this, you need a second O2 tank, plus another tank to power your LTV. So you need 2 O2 tanks, 2 ALS regulators, and then the connections are. So everything goes onto the inspiratory port from the ventilator, right? Inspiratory port, nothing is connected to the expiratory port. We're just testing the equipment, making sure it's working. So you need a nitric oxide tank and double O2 tanks with 2 ALS 50 PSI regulators. BVM has to be connected to the blender in case the patient goes into cardiac arrest. Cannot be connected to O2 because nitric oxide cannot be turned off immediately. Patient will have, if that happens, patient will have pulmonary vasoconstriction. So to the blender, to the BVM.